Are you serious? Are we bankrupt as a nation? What? I'm not even going to talk about the fact that we're $17.4 trillion in debt. I'm not even going to talk about that. I mean, and what about the fact Detroit, Michigan filed bankruptcy last week on $1.8 billion in debt, even though I remember hearing Joe Biden run around saying, Detroit's alive and Osama bin Laden is dead. Detroit's alive and Osama bin Laden is dead. Well, it looks like radical Islam is alive and well. We're shut down 22 of our own embassies across the Muslim world, and Detroit is $1.8 billion in debt and filed bankruptcy. What? But folks, there's 20 other cities. 20 other cities in America that are looks as if headed in the same direction for bankruptcy. Is this country going to make it? What? What is the plan? And who are the other 20 cities? Well, you can, if you want to think about Motown and its only major, and I want to thank, for sending this information to me, I really want to thank Sharon Baker. Very good report. You know, Motown is not the only major U.S. city in a boatload of financial trouble, folks. Detroit's bankruptcy filing sent shivers down the spine of municipal bondholder, government employees, and big city urban residents all over the nation. That's because many of the 61 largest U.S. cities are plagued with the same kinds of retirement legacy costs that sent Detroit into Chapter 9 bankruptcy this summer. These cities have amassed $108 billion in unfunded health care liabilities. These are legal promises to pay health care benefits to the municipal workers beyond the employee contributions to finance those funds. In other words, the retirement pension plans and health care benefits is too large to overcome in many of these cities. But before we blame it on the people, which I don't think we should, you have to look at the excessive spending and waste and corruption that caused them to get in this mess in the first place. And now they're not able to take care of their commitments to their long-term employees within these cities. Now let me tell you what some of those cities are. Compton, California, number one. Compton is teetered on the brink of bankruptcy now, as its general fund deficit is $40 million by borrowing from other funds, depleting what was a $22 million reserve. So they've robbed Peter to pay Paul, and they can't get Paul paid. And now Peter's broke. That's the situation. Then there's East Greenbush, New York. They're in a terrible mess as well. New York State audit concluded the years of fiscal mismanagement there, including questionable employment contracts and illegal payments to town officials, has left the town of East Greenbush more than $2 million in debt. And then there's Fresno, California. Fresno, California had the ratings of its lease revenue bonds downgraded to junk level by Moody. Why? Because the city is in exceedingly weak financial position. And then there's Gulf County, Florida. Fitch Ratings warned that the Gulf County predominantly rural economy is narrowly focused, with income levels 1/4 below national averages and economic indicators for the country and the county also comparing unfavorably to national averages. Get a cup of coffee. It's okay. We got 16 more cities to go. Am I coming to your street? Let's see. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Harrisburg is at least $345 million in debt. Are you serious? Are you serious, Harrisburg? Thanks largely to these municipal bonds it guaranteed in order to finance upgrades to its problematic waste-to-energy trash. Going green. They went green all right. They lost all the green they had. And then we've got the Irvington, New Jersey. Number 6. Irvington has a violent crime rate 6 times higher than the New Jersey average, with Moody's citing wealth indicators below state and national averages and tax base and population declining due to the increased taxes. High crime, high taxes, hightail it out of there is what you should do. And then there's Jefferson County, Alabama. Jefferson County, home to the city of Birmingham. You're in bad shape, Birmingham. Why don't you paint me a Birmingham? No, I don't think so. Dealing with the collapse of the refinancing for the sewer bond, it filed for bankruptcy protection in 2011. Birmingham's sewage department now $3.1 billion in debt. And then there's Menasha, Wisconsin. You defaulted on your 2007 bonds and has issues to fund a steam plant, which has since closed and left the city permanently in red. You spent $16 million of your general revenue fund to build the plant, and the plant closed. Trying to go green with the steam. And then there's Newborough, New York. Newborough was cited by Moody's for tax base erosion and a weak socioeconomic profile, with 26% of its population below poverty line and its school district facing $2 million budget gap. They're in trouble. Then there's Oakland, California. Oakland's trying to get out of the Goldman Sachs broker interest rate swap that's costing $4 million a year, according to the recent city audits. Oakland has lost $250 million from its 1997 pension obligations, bond sales, and subsequent investment strategy. It sounds like they had a bunch of crooks in there trying to bail out, and somebody got the gold mine, and Oakland got the shaft. Oh, but get a cup of coffee. There's 10 more cities to go. Am I coming down your street yet? This is sad, folks. It's really sad. Philadelphia School District in Pennsylvania. The Philadelphia School District, the nation's 8th largest, is facing $304 million in deficit. The $2.35 billion budget for the school is seeking another $133 million from labor contract savings to prevent further cutbacks. They're $304 million in debt with the schools for the school district for the year. This is not good. Vernon in Philadelphia, this isn't good. This could mean higher taxes. And then there's Pontiac, Michigan. Pontiac, where the emergency manager has restructured the city's finances, was downgraded by Moody's, reflecting the city's history of fiscal distress and narrow liquidity. But folks, don't you remember? President Obama closed the Pontiac plants. The Pontiac brand is gone. I'm driving a 2008 Pontiac with 177,000 miles on it. And I can't buy another Pontiac because they're not making them more. No wonder Pontiac, Michigan went broke. Somebody send Joe Biden down there. And then there's Providence, Rhode Island. Oh, by the way, Providence, I hate to tell you this, and there's a lot of wonderful people in Providence. But of all the cities in America, Providence has the lowest amount of people that believe in God, that actually believe the Bible. Only 8.1% of the entire city of Providence in a poll actually believe the Bible. Providence, rumored to be filing for bankruptcy for more than a year now, has experienced consecutive deficits through the fiscal year 2012, with a high debt burden, significant unfunded pension liabilities, as well as high unemployment and low income levels and low faith in God. And then there's Riverdale, Illinois. Yes, the credit rating for Riverdale is under review by Moody's because the city has not released an audit. Oh, imagine that. That doesn't shock me. Illinois, especially, they won't release their audits. They won't show their books, which because the fact is they have high unemployment, large unfunded pension liabilities, and low income levels. Doesn't sound good there. Oh, no, they have not showed their taxes since April 30th, 2012. And then there's Salem, New Jersey. Salem is under close fiscal supervision after it issued bonds to finance the construction of the Finlaw State Office Building, which was delayed by construction issues, and its leasing revenues are not enough to cover the debt payments and the maintenance fees. Poor management. Break in that little city. And then there's Stratford County, New Hampshire. Stratford County regularly borrows money to cover its short-term cash needs after it spent 2/5 of its budget on nursing home, which lost $36 million between the year 2004 and 2009. Don't blame it on the elderly. Don't blame it on the elderly. Go dig deeper and find out what else they did wrong. Don't blame it on the elderly. I don't want to hear that. And then there's Taylor, Michigan. Taylor has a large deficit. It is vulnerable due to significant declines in its tax base, limited financial flexibility, and above average unfunded pension obligations. Sounds like taxes are going to be raised in Taylor, Michigan. And then there's Vanias Heights, Minnesota. I may not be saying that right. It won't be the first time I mispronounced a word, so don't get excited. The Minneapolis suburb had its debt rating downgraded to junk last fall by Moody's after the city council voted to stop payments to a sports center financed by bonds. Can't afford to play, so somebody's got to pay. And then there is Winnetachee, Washington. Winnetachee, Washington. It's defaulted on its $42 million in debt associated with the town Toyota Center, a multi-purpose arena, and its ongoing financial issues due to default. In other words, here we go again, another big stadium that nobody can pay for because people don't have a job. Because you move the manufacturing bases out of this country, there's no work, yet you want them to pay the prices and pay for the stadium and pay the tickets to go to reveling in the sporting arenas with no money, no dinero. Oh. And then, last but not least, there's Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Yes, Woonsocket faces near-term liquidity shortages necessitating because of advance in state aid, a high debt burden, unfunded pension liabilities, with Moody's citing the city's continuing difficulties in making spending cuts because of poor management and imprecise accounting. Bad bookkeeping, bad management, bad ideas, bad situation. Folks, those are the top 20 cities after Detroit's fiasco of bankruptcy headed in the same direction. And let me share something with you. I can name you 20 more that are as bad or worse, headed in the same direction. America's in trouble. We become a slave to the lender. Who is the lender? Who's America borrowing all their money from? China. China. Maybe that's why in my book, Mark of the Beast, RFID, when the New World Order is established, the reason America just gives itself over to the Chinese and to the Russian communist regimes is because they're broke. And the ruling class and those who have got the money invested are allowed to become part of the team and just vote. Can you imagine the Congress? Don't be shocked. Congress just votes to dissolve America. President resigns, and they hand the keys to this great nation to those that we owe. And we become a one world government. How close are we? The steps are already in place. Are you saved? Are you getting is your trust in this world? You want to give all your faith to Jesus Christ and trust in the Lord and invest in His kingdom. Give your life to Jesus Christ. The greatest investment you can make is giving your life to Jesus Christ. I'm praying for you.